Hey there guys, this is Pharaoh2091 and welcome back to Let's Play Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time we left off, we were cross-examining the witnesses and we're like, hey, you know what, you're maybe wrong here. And we found his arm. Turns out Amir found it and sold it. It's like, come on man, that's low. And there might have been a contradiction with like where the arm was and the scepter, but now we're going to hear their testimony about the placement of both of them and see what happens.
I was only focusing on the professor, so I don't remember much else.
I don't know, I got there last. Besides, that thing was glinting and glittering away, so I couldn't see much else.
Bewitched by love, or beloved by a witch, the poor cove knows not which is which. Dear me, I remember. How obvious it seems now. The staff was dropped before the statue fell over.
Whoa, wait a minute. What you all said just now is totally different from your previous testimonies. Sir Blue Knight, you are starting to notice it now, aren't you? That is the way of magic. Such is the effect this black art tends to have upon those who witness it. The witnesses are not lying, but simply having trouble remembering the truth. What a convenient excuse. Confronted with magic, their brains turn to mush, huh? Ever since our ancestors drank from the fountains of wisdom and obtained the capacity of reason, witchcraft has been the one thing to remain incomprehensible, even to the most intelligent of us. Nevertheless, the onus is on us to stand up against magic and pass judgment on these witches. And so, here we are, doing battle with the weapons of the wise. Words. With words, we shall pass judgment upon the supposed witch. Defender, you may begin your interrogation and help us arrive at the truth. Okay, I don't think I have anything to present. And Luke and Amir really, they just said like, they don't know. But they weren't really focusing on it. Birdley, I don't even understand his statement. Bewitched by love or beloved by a witch? What does it even, yeah, hold on. What does it even mean? Would you mind translating your song to plain speech?
I shall simplify once more just for you, esteemed knight of the court. First of all, let's just talk about love. It's a pretty neat slant rhyme for cove. A cove is slang for chap, you see.
Wait, who did what? Amir? Okay.
Hang on!
Mr. Amir, you seem to be pondering something very deeply. You caught me unawares there, Bluey. Something in Birdley's statement catch your attention just now? Nah, nothing particular. I was just thinking. What the? That bird song really got to me. I really kind of feel it in my heart.
I appreciate your appreciation of my art.
You know, I meant to ask you something. Why don't you become me private bard? You can sing all about the heroic life of Emir Punchinbog the First.
I could gladly sing for your adventures if it pleases you, kind sir.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Show me what you got.
Very well, as per your request. Oh, grand Emir Punchinbog the First, will new fortune quench your thirst? Dang, I can't sing.
Actually, I just noticed that the parrot kind of grooving out to it.
Having bravely flinched the golden arm, now you've duped the pawn shop man.
That was it. Oh wait, did I skip something? Okay.
I hope my song was to your liking, sir.
Oh yeah, very poetic. And I love how I just noticed how like Amir's like hair looks like kind of like a Christmas tree with ornaments.
Your drinking matter is quite inspiring, but whatever is that skull bottle hiding?
What is that hiding? So we've learned nothing useful at all. Just an Amir has questionable taste in music. Sometimes it's best not to probe too deeply, Sir Blue Knight. Well then, let us proceed. Pretend we heard none of that and proceed with the interrogation. Meaning, I wasted people's time. But wait a minute, were we done pressing him? I'm gonna go back there.
Hold it!
Because, like, that was like the first statement. So, talk about love. Okay, so we got that. Then we have the word witch and homophone witch. Right. Next, we have the delightful connaissance of Beloved and Bewitched. It is ultimately a song about confusion. I'm confused. To be honest, there's nothing more to it. It's merely an artistic expression of my feelings. So, it's got nothing to do with this case, does it? I am well melodious words and poetic music. That is my only charm.
No way!
Wait, Luke? Why did he do that there? Okay.
Hang on!
Luke, would you like to say something? Oh, sorry. I guess I spaced out for a bit. What is it, Mr. Wright? You seem to be thinking pretty hard about something during Mr. Birdley's testimony just now. Is there something you would like to share with us? Well, I've been thinking about what Mr. Bonham said about a while ago. What was it? What was that exactly? That humans who witness magic become confused and lose sight of what's real. And they end up not knowing what actually happened. Well, I was thinking Mr. Bonham might be right. And then it occurred to me that there might be a way. I mean, we do have with us a witness who isn't human.
Ah? Oh, dearie me.
This situation seems oddly familiar. Oh, yes it does. Yes it does. Oh my god, if you guys don't know that reference. Oh man. I asked him earlier if he remembers the events clearly or not, and he said he has a memory better than an elephant and remembers everything perfectly well. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot that Luke can talk to animals. Mr. Wright, I know it sounds crazy, but please let me try. Let me ask Cracker to testify.
Ah, dearie me.
Should I? I'm stuck now anyway, and the witnesses with testimonies are all over the place. A new testimony would be a wild card, but it might be just the thing that turns this trial on its head. It's a crazy idea, alright. If I make a mistake now, it'll put me in a tight spot. Defender, are you still with us? This is not a time nor place for daydreaming. What do you intend to do? Looks as though you've exhausted all means for a counterattack, Sir Knight in Blue. Is it not time you drop your sword? If you have no further questions for the acquitted witnesses, Defender, I will consider your interrogation finished. What will it be then? Are we finished here? I've got zero time to think it over. Better make a choice now. Should I summon a parrot as a witness?
We did it before. Let's do it again.
Your Honor, the defense would like to summon a new witness.
A new
Witness, you say?
What do you have in mind?
It's a witness you all know, by the name of Mr. Cracker.
Mr. Cracker? I know of no man by that name.
Mr. Cracker! The defense summons its new witness, Mr. Cracker the Parrot!
A parrot as a witness?
I did it before, I can do it again.
Objection!
This is the Witch's Court. Joking around will be considered contempt of court.
Objection!
Mr. Cracker witnessed the crime. He saw it happen and he heard it too. He's as valid a witness as the others.
Objection!
No. That bird is nothing but a pet animal. Referring to it as a mister will not change that.
Objection!
Humans are confused by magic to the extent that they lose sight of what's real. That's what you yourself said, Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum.
Objection!
Calling me by my full name does not help justify such brash foolishness. The Inquisition is against interrogating a parrot. By the way, kind sirs, I suppose you should know that my dear companion never forgets the sound he hears. He remembers everything he hears, huh? It's definitely worth asking Cracker to testify.
The court sees the situation as follows. The witnesses' testimonies do not hold together. In fact, they are as erratic as the bard's songs. I cannot see this trial getting any more confusing. Very well. The defense may summon this avian witness.
Can you believe it? What's up with Mr. Blue Suit summoning a parrot as a witness?
Summoning? Does he mean like how the familiar was summoned?
By hook or by crook, I'll do whatever I can to save Maya. Be it summoning a parrot or familiar, whatever it takes. Within the boundaries of the law, of course. What the... Alright. Witness, state your name and
Objection!
Oh my god.
Not so fast! I hardly even know where to begin, but... First of all... What's the matter with that boy looking so pleased with himself? He looks like the cat that got the cream.
That'd be me, wouldn't it? Don't mind me. Just think of me as a perch for Cracker, that's all.
And just what is the purpose of questioning a bird? A parrot may be able to repeat what others say, but cannot talk on its own.
Objection!
It's precisely because Cracker doesn't talk in his own words that he's certain to tell us the truth.
What?
Cracker remembers every sound he hears, even just the once, with absolute perfection. So let's have him testify exactly what he heard. And if Cracker can repeat every sound, I say this should be a valuable testimony.
I cannot believe this is happening.
Okay, well, we've seen weirder, but you know, why the hell not?
A witness that cannot talk will not lie either. This idea is much to my liking. Well then, may our new witness Cracker be testified to the court. We wish to know exactly what you heard from the beginning of the incident.
Here we go, guys. We're about to hear testimony from another parrot. Okay. Slam. Deary me. Clang.
Objection!
What's this now?
Why, those are the sounds of the incident. Exactly as Cracker heard them.
Ludicrous! Evidently, this is nothing but a farce after all. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? I must admit, I found the parent's testimony quite impressive. Even if that bird can accurately recall the sounds, it's clearly useless when it comes to the order of events. You mean there's a problem with the order? First, the witch used magic to turn the victim to gold. Then the witness arrived. It's reasonable to assume they cried out in terror when they did so. And yet, this testimony does not accurately convey such an order of events. It starts with a sudden scream, followed by the door abruptly opening, and that witness crying out. Next, we hear the victim, having turned into gold, falling down. So far, so reasonable. But the real issue is as follows. The parrot seems to think the witch cast her spell after witnesses entered. Such a suggestion is inconceivable. The reason is simple. At that time, the victim had already been turned into gold.
Oh!
Indeed, it is as you say, Inquisitor Barnum. This parrot's capacity for information is excellent. I will concede that its testimony does have an entertainment value. However, this animal's testimony cannot be allowed to stand as proof in this honorable court of law.
Don't write Cracker off just like that.
Do you now see how foolish you are to summon this parrot as a witness? Oh, not good, Phoenix. Not good at all.
Should I really go through this cross-examination when it feels like everyone in this court is against me?
And yes, there is.
Because if you paid attention to the final statement that Cracker said, it was a little bit different than what we heard before, so we're going to go ahead and cross-examine.
The defense wishes to cross-examine a witness. What? Are you serious? Did you not hear what I said? Are you choosing to ignore my words?
A witness that cannot talk cannot lie either. This parrot's testimony is the naked truth. He's simply repeating the sounds as he heard them. It It's humans who make assumptions about the meaning of those words and arbitrarily decide whether the testimony is good or not. But as Knights of the Court, shouldn't we be striving to uncover the truth to which this parrot holds the key? The truth, you say? Very well. Show us the truth that this bird purportedly knows. Interrogate that parrot. Meanwhile, I shall enjoy the show. Will you? Will you do it, Mr. Wright? Do you think it's hopeless? Yeah. Defender, you may interrogate the witness. But no, we have proof. Because as we'll see right here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Godor. Now here, Cracker hears everything exactly as it was. Godor is different than... Where is that? Goldor. So... Is there another spell that was used?
Objection!
There is a critical contradiction in this testimony. We're all aware of that, Sir Blue Knight. This contradiction is between your so-called desire to find the truth and the fact that you are interrogating a parrot. That's not what I'm talking about, Inquisitor. There is a contradiction here that makes one thing particularly clear. The fact that we have clearly all made a wrong assumption. How so? Luke, can you ask Cracker to repeat the incantation once more? Right you are. Godor! Godor! Godor? According to the Grand Grimoire, the name of the gold transmutation spell is Goldor. However, now, Inquisitor, it would seem to me that the spell we just heard is in fact a different one entirely. Well, I'd never! Unbelievable! Goldor and Godor!
Objection!
This is ridiculous! That wretched bird must have misheard her incantation!
Objection!
Cracker is able to imitate sounds perfectly. The incantation was indeed misheard, but only by the people hearing it.
Objection!
The victim was found already in his golden state. That is proof enough that Goldor spell was used.
Objection!
But you're forgetting that Cracker heard this incantation after that spell had already taken place. Uh-oh. Which makes it entirely possible this Godor spell was used as well. In other words, another spell besides the gold transmutation magic must have also been used. Another spell that we haven't yet considered. Now, the next question that needs to be asked is, just what is this Godor spell?
Objection!
Utter foolishness. This is absurd. As convenient as it would be for you, there is no way that a spell by the name of Godor exists. Oh, Mr. Wright! Huh? What is it? I found it! The page about the spell! Godor! It's listed in the Grand Grimoire, right here! It exists? What? Oh, this is getting good. Order! Order! I demand order! Just like I thought. Cracker remembered it exactly. But then, what kind of magic is this Godor? Well, my lord, the Grand Grimoire describes it in the following way. Godor creates a portal of 2 sides of green-colored walls. The portal will disappear after 5 minutes. Creates a portal on green-colored walls. Portal spell. Green? Oh, I know where this is going. Creates a portal of 2 sides of green-colored walls. Portal will disappear after 5 minutes. Aren't you a lucky man? It appears even the Grand Grimoire is on your side. However, there is a fatal flaw in your explanation. Huh? What flaw is that, Inquisitor? Is it really quite simple? It is really quite simple. Think back to how the alchemist study had looked at the time of the incident. Do you remember any green walls? Because I do not. There were none. I see one. All the walls were coated with white plaster. In other words, it was impossible to use Godor in that room. I too have visited the alchemist study since an incident. I remember very, very well that all the walls in that room were a dull shade of white. Your little theory was interesting, Sir Blue Knight, or Sir Knight in Blue, but it's proven to be nothing more than that, a mere wild guess. As long as you cannot prove that this Godor spell was used, your little theory shall be considered no further. In all honesty, I was very surprised to learn of such a spell's existence. However, as long as it was impossible to have used this spell as a crime scene, your deduction leads us nowhere. So let me ask you now. Yes, Your Honor? Do you, perchance, have any proof that you could show us? Can you prove that it was feasible for the witch to have used Godor in that room? There is no coincidence. That spell must have been used at the crime scene. But do I have the proof that it was even possible to use Godor? We do! It's been on my mind for a while. That inexplicable mark. It has to be the evidence that ties up all the loose ends. The defense wishes to present evidence. Impossible. The determination in your eyes made me think you would. Now then, we shall allow the defense to present its evidence to the court. Present the proof that the spell Godor was used at the scene. We found green wall, some portion of the wall painted green behind the painting.
Take that!
The walls in the study are coated with white plaster. Not all of them, though. There's just one spot which is green. Oh, there is. I noticed someone investigating a crime scene. You may recall that there was a small painting behind the desk. And for some reason, the wall behind it was painted green. It was what? I recall seeing that painting myself too. And if we look at this floor plan, I'd say it was around here. Mr. Wright, I'll mark it on the floor plan. It's been bothering me since I saw it, but now it's clear what it was. At the time of the incident, a portal opened up behind that painting. In other words, there was a wall that was utilized for the spell Godor. I think I know exactly where this is heading.
Objection!
You're certainly persistent. You just want a portal to be there so much, don't you? The wall behind the painting was green, and that's a fact. Incidentally, I remember that painting well. A small landscape piece. About the size of, say, an open Grand Grimoire. Yes, it was about that size indeed. A small, adorable picture. Even if a portal had opened in that small patch of green, no person would be able to pass through it. In fact, they'd just be able to put their arm through it at the most. So will you please explain how a witch could possibly have escaped through a portal this small? He's right, Mr. Wright. No one could have gotten through a portal that small. Have you anything to say? Or are you so crushed by the realization of your mistake that words fail you? The portal was too small for a person. It doesn't require much thinking to figure that out. But that aside, a very obvious question remains. If it wasn't a human, then what could have passed through the portal? You have put an interesting spin on things. Why don't you answer your own question? You talk as if you know everything, so please enlighten us. A small portal was open in the wall of the crime scene, and I have all the clues I have to what that could mean. What went through the portal was... Well... What time am I at? I probably could end it, but I feel like I'm super close to something, so I'm gonna keep going. Well, I don't think it could have been an animal, because that would have been known. Obviously, a witch couldn't go and get in there, so I guess it'll be something else. No human could have passed through a portal that small. Even a witch couldn't have pulled that off. So you're finally forsaking your mistaken assumptions. I haven't finished, Inquisitor. The fact remains that something else could have passed through the portal. Oh? And just what could that be, Sir Blue Knight? The portal was created after a professor had been turned into gold. The witch had a good reason behind that. She must have had to move something through that portal. You have captured my curiosity. I'd like to know what passed through that portal. Tell us, what did a witch use in that magic portal for? I mean, we got a case outline, plans, the scepter, or the Layton. I mean, just out of, like, you know, narrowing it down, and out of the process of elimination, well, what makes sense is the scepter.
Take that!
Considering the state of the crime scene, there's just one possible answer. And that is the Talia Magica.
Objection!
What? What's this now? The Talia Magica was found at the crime scene. A portal has nothing to do with it.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, you're making the wrong assumption. Wrong assumption. The witch wasn't trying to remove evidence from the crime scene. She wanted to plant it. She threw the witch's scepter into a room through that portal.
Objection!
You and your crazy theories. Do you even realize what you're saying? If she threw that staff into the room, that means... Exactly. She did it to deceive us. Her goal was to make us draw the wrong conclusions. When the incident took place, the witch herself wasn't in the room. She cast a spell from outside. What? I know exactly where this is going. Order! Order! Order, I say! And that's not all. There's even more proof that the staff was thrown into the room from the outside. What proof? The proof is none other than Professor Layton's previously severed right arm. The victim's arm? How does that prove anything? None of the witnesses testified that he saw the witch's scepter. However, a few of them claim to have heard it rattling across the floor. That's right. Please take a look at this floor plan. Since the arm was standing upright over here, we know the defendant couldn't have been the one to have dropped the scepter. Now think about it. Where would you need to drop the scepter in order for it to end up here? Oh! No. That's right. The scepter could have only come from the small portal created by the spell Godor. Oh. This is most unexpected. The witch wasn't in the room when the crime occurred. Or at least, that's the defense's claim. It's the only thing that explains all the contradictions we've run into.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, with that imagination of yours, you could aspire to write fantasy stories. A nice try, I must admit. However, this line of assertion is futile. There's a glaring contradiction in your words. Another contradiction? Whatever are you referring to, Inquisitor Barnum? This is the Talia Magica that was used in this incident. As we have established, there are two magic gems in it. One for the gold transmutation spell, Goldor, and one for the, and one of the Shadow Familiar spell, Familia, whatever. A witch in possession of this staff would not have been able to cast Godor. Yes, you're absolutely right. But you can't write off all the evidence supporting my theory as mere coincidence. Why must your agreement always be followed by a but? What I'm getting at is, this Talia Magica is not genuine. Not genuine? That's right. And naturally, the one responsible for this deception is the real culprit of the crime. Enough of the suspense. It's too much for a man of my age. The defense shall reveal what is meant by the so-called deception. Well, what's weird about it? I mean, we got the gems and the scepter. Unless he means one of the gems, because we know for sure this is used for turning something into gold. This brings out a familiar, however, we don't even know that one came. So maybe this is fake.
Got it.
First, I want to clarify one thing. Can we be certain that the Talia Magica in question is authentic? Without doubt. The metal rod in the center is called the Spina Magica. Spina Magica, whatever. The witch's mark on its tip is clearly visible and highly detailed. It is impossible to forge, even by the finest craftsmen in all Labyrinthia. I can guarantee you its authenticity. Then that leaves us with only one possibility. The forgery in question is the Familia magic gem. What? A forged magic gem?
Objection.
That is an insult to our investigators.
Objection.
Only witches can use the power of these magic gems, can't they? So tell me, how can you know whether a magic gem is a real thing or not?
Objection.
Hold it right there. We know for certain that the spell Goldor was used. It is undoubtedly not forged. But what about Familia? Did anyone actually see a Familiar at the crime scene? Ugh. That's... 30 months ago, when an investigation was carried out into Sir Balduc's death, the results yielded the following conclusion. The spell Familia had been used to summon a familiar, which in turn carried out the murder. And the witch used exactly that to her advantage. Another similar incident at the crime scene. Don't you think that would have been the perfect opportunity for the witch to frame the defendant for her crimes? The defendant would be blamed for both the professor and Sir Balduc's deaths. Deaths. And we would take her for the real witch. Oh. That was the real culprit's objective. Yep. There's a chapter in the Magic Archive, an old collection of tales of the occult, about the way to test whether or not a magic gem is genuine. Oh. How can we test it, my lord? It's very simple. A genuine magic gem is composed of a mineral that with a density lower than that of pure water. All you need to do is see if the magic gem floats on water. That is simple indeed. All non-magical minerals in our world, with the exception of sepiolite, whatever, and a few other kinds, sink in water. These eerily sparkling magic gems, however, will never sink when put into magic and water. Bailiff, remove this magic gem for immediate examination.
Oh, yes, my lord.
The magic gem's a fake? What's up with this trial? This is not how it was supposed to be.
It's all right, darling. Don't cry. You'll get to see the big witch burden today. Sir Bottom never disappoints. Hush now. There.
I think it's kind of morbid how somebody wants us to actually see somebody put to fire, but okay. Defender, if your theory is correct, though, there could be the biggest occult crime in history. But another important question remains is whether you can even answer it. Who is the supposed real witch that threw the Talia Magica through the portal? The real witch? There's only one person that comes to mind. Frankly, I still find it hard to believe, but it's the only possibility. Once I indict her, there'll be no turning back. Knowing the consequences, should I give them her name? Mr. Wright, in Labyrinthia, witches are punished by fire. I know you think that that's going too far, but even in a world that seems so insane to you, those who take the lives of others must be punished. That's a universal law, isn't it? The witch turned the professor into a golden statue, and that's not all. She took the life of an alchemist too, and now she's trying to pin the whole thing on Maya. I can't just let her get away with that. Well then, defense, let us hear your theory. Who is this witch responsible for using Goldor and then throwing the scepter through the resulting portal? Well, what time am I at? Oh my god, this is a long episode. But I'm just gonna continue because like I'm getting too hooked. And the thing is, This is odd, because witches can only be female, correct? And the only females we have here are Maya and Miss Primstone. Obviously, it's not Maya. Miss Primstone as well, she was outside with us. Luke, we know that. But there was another person where I was very confused when we first met them if they were a man or woman. And that would be none other than Grey Earl.
Take that!
When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be true. There's only one logical possibility. It has to be that person. The real witch is Jean Grey Earl.
Grey Earl? I've heard that name somewhere. Oh, wait, isn't that butler who serves Sir Belduke?
That's correct.
Objection!
What's this about? You seem to love rolling out these ridiculous suggestions, but you ignore the obvious. Grey Earl is male.
Inquisitor Barnum, tell me one thing. Is it only females who can be witches?
Are you daft? Of course it's only females. Never in the history of this court has there ever been a male witch. You're so utterly ignorant. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Alright, well, I'd like to ask another question. Is Grey Earl really a male?
What? What a ludicrous question. The defense is certain that Jean Grey Earl is a witch responsible for using magic on Professor Layton.
Oh man, this is bringing it back.
Objection!
Okay. We got a lot of references coming back here, kinda.
Will you stop fooling around? This is a groundless accusation.
Objection!
Groundless, you say? I'm afraid that's where you're wrong. At the time of the crime, Jean Grey Earl, I'm to say Jean Grey Earl, was in the room next to the alchemist's study. And one of the walls in that very room was painted green.
It was?
What's more is that green wall was the one adjacent to Sir Belduke's study.
What? This is madness!
Joke, Sparta, kick, whatever.
Inquisitor Barnum, quickly, have the butler summoned to the court. Have Jean Grey Earl brought here immediately. Certainly, my lord. It shall be done.
There is no need for that. I am here. I shall come down right away.
Ah, it's you.
Well then, Mr. Wright, shall we begin?
Jean Grey Earl.
It would seem this trial has turned in a new direction. I think we all need a bit of time to take it in. We shall take a brief intermission. Inquisition, defense, sharpen your swords and wits to prepare yourselves for the next stage of this battle.
Yes, Your Honor.
It shall be done, my lord. By the time we resume, the examination into the magic gem should have ended as well. Now, the court is adjourned for a brief intermission.
As for myself, I'm done for today. I probably should have made this 2 episodes, but I got really carried away with this episode, so long episode for today. Yay. Wow. So I think I inadvertently, well, let's just assume that it all comes down to Grey Earl. I think I may have inadvertently solved it when I was questioning whether it was a male or female. Cause I couldn't tell just by looking. I'm like, I was like, I'm not really sure, but I didn't want to sound like, stereotypical or racist or just wrong in any form or aspect, But what else I was gonna say? But then even when a section of that of the game was voiced with Grey Earl speaking, it was obviously a female. And I was questioning it even coming from a voice acting perspective, because, and I think just kind of like, maybe common knowledge, but a lot of women voice young male roles because they can pull off that voice a little bit easier than a man, or than a male sounding like a young boy. Just gonna sound a little weird because like when we've hit puberty, we're a man, you know. So, man, this is insane. That's all I'm gonna say. And in the next episode, and actually in the next recording session, my voice is kind of hurting right now. We will continue with Chapter 4 and see what's going to happen. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I'll see you guys later.